Greetings! Welcome back to PinkOddBird. Today we are here to start working on a new book that I've been putting off for a while, and I finally have a little bit of free time here to go ahead and get started on it, so that's what we're going to be working on today. So let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so I don't know if many of you or all of you have been here since whenever I originally posted the video about Arlene's scrapbook that I had. Well, what I did was I came on live and we all kind of sat together and we went through the scrapbook that I had for this lady whose name was Arlene, and she had it filled with so much of her own personal ephemera that she'd been saving from, like, I want to say maybe from high school on. And so basically that scrapbook was actually falling apart. The pages were literally disintegrating. And it was a huge, big scrapbook, and we went through it and took all the ephemera out, and then I had to get rid of that book because it was just no good. So I decided that I would save all of her stuff, and instead of like scattering it out and dispersing it in different ways through different books, I decided that I would save all of her stuff and rebuild a new book for her and put all of her ephemera back into the book, and then it would be Arlene's book. Similar to the vintage ladies books that I made recently, where I had one specifically for Irene. So this one is for Arlene. So we're going to be working in this book to fill it back up with Arlene's ephemera. And basically I already have the base pages of this book done, and this is going to be a big book. The scrapbook that her stuff came in was actually even bigger than this, and you can see this is a 12 by 12 paper pad here, so you can see how tall the signatures are. So since her scrapbook was really large and it was pretty much full, I decided that I would make one as large as I could to put her stuff back into, and then also leave space for like your own like writing and journaling and stuff like that as well if you wanted to. So I thought that it would be kind of fun for me to bring you along on the journey as we add her ephemera back in. Basically, I won't be modifying it too much because I want to keep it as original as possible. So maybe we'll be making just ephemera pieces, collage pieces, vehicles for her actual ephemera to fit and sit in, and things like that. So I think we're pretty much good to go. I don't know that I'll do all of it in real time because it would take a really long time, so I might speed it up and just do a voiceover as I walk you through what we're doing here. And then I also basically have the base of my pages done to where all the signatures are already organized how I want them to be. And oh, I forgot, I was inspired by Teal and Tattered to use these really large wallpaper pages from TaylorMade journals, and so I definitely wanted to make sure I added those in, and also give a shout out to Martenia and Lorna. So I think that's pretty much all the housekeeping. So I hope you guys will all enjoy this process, working along in this with me. And yep, so let's go ahead and get started. So here is the tote that I had, and this tote I believe has most of Arlene's stuff in it. I think I might have another accordion folder somewhere with her letters, because I also have a lot of letters that she was given over her years, and some of this is just other vintage and antique ephemera that I will kind of just bypass unless we need to use it. But yeah, so see, like these Chanticleers or Chanticleers, I know that those are Arlene's. So I think what I'll do is I'll start out by just kind of sifting through here and seeing what ephemera I have of hers, and then also I might pop in some of the letters or all of the letters. I'm not sure, I haven't decided yet, because the letters weren't in her scrapbook. That was something separate. But so let's go ahead and start out by digging through this box and separating out what's authentically Arlene's and everything else. Some of these pieces are so very, very rare and obviously one of a kind. So I might scan some of these just to have them for saving and using at a later time, but I'm going to put all of the originals back into her book, where with the other vintage books that I made recently, I didn't scan any of that ephemera, you know, I just kind of put the original pieces into the book. And so with this one, I really just loved her story, and I would love to be able to have some pieces to use and keep for myself while still adding the originals back into the book. Alright, so pretty much all of this stuff is Arlene's, and this was the stuff that kind of was just extra stuff that I added in. So as you can see, there's a lot that I have to work with here, and I'm not even honestly sure this is all going to fit in the book. She was really a well-loved person, and you know, there's just so many cool little pieces in here, like even her books from like 1952 still have the little pencil attached to them. So many really cool pieces. So I don't know, I really just love all of this stuff, and I'm excited to get it put back into the book. I haven't ever done a project this big like this before, so this is going to be kind of new and interesting for me as well. So here we go. Okay, as you can see, what I've done here is I have just broken, instead of trying to do it chronologically, to me it looks like most of this stuff is high school-ish, around there. So what I did was instead I broke it out by the type of ephemera that it is. So everything that's right here that I'm putting into this tote is all like ephemera pieces. Tickets and booklets and report cards and things like that that she saved. Okay, so that's phase one. The second section that I broke it down into are the handmade and special pieces that she's received, like letters, notes, drawings, and this little, this was when she started college, I guess, but this was like her own personal self-analysis. That's what it was. So these are like a little bit more special kind of items here. And then here I've also broken this section down into letters, invitations, postcards, cards, things like that she had. And then the final section are the photographs. So most of these photographs are Arlene, or Arlene and friends, and I believe that might have been her mother here. So those are the categories that I have broken all of the ephemera down into. So I guess the next thing for me to do is to think about how I want to start adding this into the book. Now, I do think that I will not be putting anything in here like permanently. I kind of want it to be able to be moved around and taken out and things like that, because most of these things were adhered into the scrapbook originally. You can see that on a lot of these pieces that have like pieces of the old scrapbook attached to them. Like this is a remnant from the old scrapbook here. You can see how brittle it was. But so I guess I need to think about how I want to start adding this stuff in. And then once I have a better idea about how I want to go about that, I think we can come back and start on the next video. But I guess this is just a phase 1 or part 1 maybe. And then we will be back with the next installment. So I think that's going to be it for today's video. So I appreciate you guys all being here with me for this. Let me know if you guys are excited for this project and seeing some of these cool pieces as we go through and implant them into the new book that I have created for Arlene. Leave a comment down below and let me know. And that is going to wrap it up for me for now. Be sure to stay tuned because you never know what direction this odd flock of ours is heading into. And until next time, toodaloo.